All right, so we have been working on some 3x3 linear systems, and wanted to get some more in there. And this guy's real similar to the ones that we've been working on in class. Okay, so I'm going to leave this guy up to you guys. I would say that if you want some extra practice, take the time to go through it, check your work, okay, make sure everything's going okay. And I wanted to start looking at systems like this, okay, where notice that you don't have all three variables. Well, the reason being is that a coefficient is 0. Okay, so this guy right here would be like 5x plus 3y plus 0z equals 11. Okay, this guy would be like 0x minus 2y plus 12z equals -1. And this guy would be like the opposite of x, or a -1x, plus 0y minus 9z equals 0. Okay? So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, I like to work with x and y. So notice that this top guy right here already has just x and y in it. Okay, so can I take these bottom two, okay, and get rid of z and make an equation that just has x and y in it? Okay, and so take the equation I form here with x and y, group it together with this equation that only has x and y to begin with, and solve for x and y. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys right here. I say, okay, let me make z go away. Okay, so let's see, I've got a 12 and I got a 9. Okay, so if I change this to 36 and that to -36, I can make them go away. Okay, so to change this to a 36, I got to multiply by 3. And to change this guy to -36, I got to multiply by 4. Okay, so we create that, so 3 times 0x is 0x, obviously. Okay, 3 times -2y be -6y. Okay, 3 times 12z would be 36z. And then 3 times -1 is -3. Okay, here 4 times -x is -4x. 4 times 0y is still 0y. 4 times -9z is -36z. And then 4 times 0 is 0. Okay, and then we just add straight down. So I'm going to get a -4x minus 6y. This adds up to 0 equals -3. And then if I take this guy and group it together with this guy, and obviously I'll just throw that 0z out, okay, I can solve that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's take this 5x plus 3y equals 11, and let's group it together with a -4x minus 6y equals -3. Okay, so we're looking at solving that. Okay, well, I could easily change this 3y to a 6y and then add down and the y's go away. Okay, so if I multiply this top one by 2, okay, I'm going to get a 10x plus 6y equals 22, and then bring this guy down. So I have a -4x minus 6y equals -3, and then just add. So that's going to give me a 6x. This is 0, and 22 minus 3 is 19. So I get x equals 19 over 6. Okay, so my x coordinate is 19 over 6. Okay, so I've got to find my y coordinate. So I've got to go up to one of these two. Okay, I could go to either one here or either one here. It doesn't make any difference. I am going to go to, I'm going to take this guy right here. Okay, so I'm going to go, no, let's take the top one. So I go 5 times x, which is 19 over 6, plus 3y equals 11. So 5 times x plus 3y. Yep, I got it. So let's see what we got going on here. This would give me 5 times 19. Let's say 5 times 19. Okay, this would give me 95 over 6 plus 3y equals 11. So So I get 3y equals, I gotta go 11 minus that. Okay, so 11 minus 95 ABC 6. And I'm gonna get negative 4 and 5 6. And then divide by 3. Okay, so let's see, divide by 3. And so I get a negative 1 and 11/18. So I could use that as my y coordinate, or I could change it to an improper fraction. Doesn't make any difference. I'm going to go improper fraction. So I get a negative 29/18. Okay, so a negative 29/18. Okay, so I have my x and y. Now I got to find z. So I've got to go to either this equation here or this equation here to find z. So I'm going to take this guy, the bottom one. Okay, so I have the opposite of x, which is 19/6, minus 9z equals 0. So I get negative 9z equals a positive 19/6, and I divide by negative 9, so I get z equals negative 19/54. Okay, and I'm going to check that just to make sure. Okay, but I'm pretty sure I'm good. 19/6 divided by negative 9. All right, negative 19/54. So that's my z coordinate. Okay, and you could easily take this and go back and check it. Okay, and make sure it works on all three of those equations. Okay, all right, let's try another one like that. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Okay, I got y and z, and I got x and z, and x and y. Okay, just like the last one, I like to work with x and y to begin with. So why not leave this guy alone and take these two guys and form an equation that has x and y. Okay, so if I take that guy, I would have a 0x plus 4y minus 3z equals 2. And then I take this guy, I have a negative 2x plus 0y plus 7, that's not a z, 7z equals 0. I take a look at those guys. I want the z's to go away. So it looks like I'm going to have to multiply this guy by 7 to make that negative 21, which means I have to multiply this guy by 3 to make that a positive 21. Okay, so take the 7, distribute it through here. So 0x stays 0x. 4y becomes 28y. Negative 3z becomes negative 21z. And a 2 becomes a 14. Do the same thing here, distribute the 3 here, so the negative 2x becomes negative 6x. The 0y stays 0y, and the 7z becomes 21z, and then obviously 0 times anything is 0, so that stays 0. Okay, so I add straight down. I get a negative 6x plus 28y. This adds up to 0 equals 14. So I take this guy and I group it together with this guy. Okay, so we have the x minus 3y equals negative 5. Group that together here, negative 6x plus 28y equals 14. And I look at this guy, and I think it'd be easiest to get rid of the x. So if we multiply through by 6, that'll make that a 6x, which will give me 0 when I add straight down. Okay, so I get a 6x minus 18y equals negative 30, and then bring this guy down. Negative 6x plus 28y equals 14. Okay, so these add up to 0. Negative 18 plus 28 is 10, so that's 10y equals a negative 16. Okay, so y, not x, y, ends up being negative 16/10, which is the same as negative 8/5. Okay, so let's see. My y coordinate is negative 8/5. Okay, so I got to go back and find my x coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top one right here. So So I got x minus 3 times negative 8/5 equals negative 5. Okay, so that's x plus 24/5 equals negative 5. So x is equal to, let's see, negative 5 minus 24/5. So I'm getting negative 9 4/5. And you could use that as your x coordinate, okay? Or you could say, okay, that's the same as negative 49/5. Okay, either one. I'm going to use a negative 49/5. Negative 49/5. Okay, yep. All right, now I need my z. Okay, so I got to go to either the top one or the second one down to get z. I'm going to use the second one down. Okay, so I get a negative 2 times x, which is negative 49/5. Okay, plus 7z, not z. 7z equals 0. Okay, so I get a positive 98/5 plus 7z equals 0. And I did that again. How many times am I going to do that? That's 7z. All right, so I get 7z equals a negative 98/5. 7 going there would be 70. Oh, I think it does. Okay, so z is equal to negative, let me take this, 98/5 divided by 7. Yep, it does. Okay, I get a negative 14/5. Okay, so that's my negative 14/5. Okay, what I was contemplating is if I divide by 7, would I just go negative 98 over 35? But 7 divides into 98. Okay, so it'll reduce. Okay, and so I just used the calculator to do that. I probably shouldn't have, should have done it myself. But anyway, all right, that wraps it up for video 1.